It's always interesting to me where people get their start in their creative journey. You're on a creative journey, and I want to know, when did you know that you were a little different as far as the levels of creativity that you exude from your system?
You know what? I remember the exact moment. I really do. I lived in a weird household. We all lived in weird households in one way or another. I was a pretty terrified kid, probably where my being an introvert comes from. I was scared of a lot of things. I lived in a home that wasn't necessarily going to be able to help me with those sorts of fears, just not to get too personal. And then my dad was a filmmaker living in the city, in the big city. I was living in the country, and he would bring me to different events. And I went to see a show when I was 12 years old with my dad, a piece of theater called The Hot House Prince by Stuart Lemoyne. A very close friend of mine now was starring in that play. I didn't know her at all. And sorry, it wasn't A Hot House Prince. It was called Swing Babes, Planet of the Lost Swing Babes.
There'll be notes later.
Yeah, there'll be notes. I'm going to quiz you on this. Check out Stuart Lemoyne's plays if you haven't read them. They're great. But she did the 11 o'clock number on that show, which is the big number that usually ends a musical. Not ends, it's usually in the 75% done. There'll be a big number. It'll bring down the house. And we were listening to that. I was 12 years old, and I remember leaning over to my dad and going, I want to do this. And my dad remembers that too. And the very next year, I was cast in a play on the same stage as the youngest, I was 13, the youngest actor on that stage to be cast along professionals. I don't know how I got there. I don't remember that bit. But I just remember the spark of going, I need to do this. And then my dad kind of giving me the opportunity or showing me that it was right over there that you could, go for that. And I did it, and it happened.
So tell us a little bit, because we alluded to the fact that you've got some serious education with regard to your career.
Yeah.
Just to talk a little bit about that. We talked about your time in New York.
New York was great. I think anytime you're talking about learning about anything creativity, I think you can be taught a lot of the technical things. I think there are people who can take more from school than others in terms of using what's inside of you to create something that you can relate to other people. I enjoyed my time in New York because I was like all the kids who were the stars of their high school plays all over the United States were in my class. And so just in a nutshell, I decided to take musical theater because I wanted to learn to move. I wanted to learn to sing more. I love music. I should have been a musician. We'll get to that a little bit later with Geoff. But I remember the first day of class, the teacher in my musical theater class was like, let's just sing the songs that you auditioned with. And my classmates got up, and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, why, how did I get into this school? Because they all were like at this super high level of vocals. And I sang my song, and I'm a character actor. I know I'm a character actor. I've got a good voice, I can sing, but I didn't have their voice. And I thought, oh no, I'm in the wrong place. But then when we get to the acting classes or the Meisner stuff, and I'd be doing what I'd be doing, all my classmates suddenly were like, what the heck? How is he doing this stuff? And I'd be like, oh, okay. So it was great for me in terms of like finding out about who I was going to be in the community at large with, who I was going to be competing with, who was I going to be inspired by. But at the same time, when I came back home, I didn't take my second year at the school because when I got back home, everyone was interested in hiring me. I went to work with amazing seasoned actors that I learned more from in the first few shows that I did.